Hello, everyone. Okay, I think there's no more echo. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for waiting. I believe we can proceed now. Hello, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining.
Hello,
Michelle,
Kofi.
thank you. Who else is here? Let me see. Let me extend so I can see everyone's. Yeah, Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining. Fikayo, look at you. Ibukun, Ikoku, thank you so much. Michael, Moyo Ogoma, thank you so much for joining. Temitayo, speak to Chi. Will that be Chinwe? If you can hear me loud and clear, put in the chat for me saying, hello, P. Carew. I can hear you and we're ready to bust. Put in the chat for me, we're ready to move. Thank you so much, everyone. I have two devices here turned on. I want to be able to see chats as we move. Let me turn on the chats here. Okay, yes, I can see the chats on this one, and then I can see everyone here. Thank you so much. All right, so thank you, Speak to Chi. Hi, hello, Pika. This is Chinwe. We're ready to move. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right. Okay, so today we're going to be talking on mastering your money mindset for a prosperous year. Thank you so much. I see your messages coming in. Ikoko says, good evening, madam. Thanks for having us. Absolutely, absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here today. And I'm super excited about 2025 because I have planned out a lot of programs that I'm going to be sharing. I'm going to be doing a lot of teaching this year. Many of them will be free and some of them will be paid, and largely because I want to be able to, not just put content out there, but also to connect and to also let people see that there's more to their relationship with money. Because I realize that it's not just about me teaching masterclasses. I have to be able to connect, and the audience, all of you that are following me, have to be able to relate with what I do. And so I thought, okay, why not set up the Mind Over Money series, where every other month or every month as time permits, I will from time to time teach on topics that are of interest or topics surrounding areas of interest or challenges that I may have gotten from you all. So yes, thank you so much for joining the first series for the year. There'll be another one in February. We'll pick up, we'll collate questions or challenges or what we think is going on, and then we'll coin it into a topic and then speak on it. So yes, you're welcome. So let's go right on. I'm going to share my screen. Let me share my screen right away. Michelle, Tosan, all of you that I have made co-host, you'll have to take over letting people in. Did I make you co-host? Yes, I did. Okay, good. So I'm good. Right. So let me share my screen so that we can move right on. Am I sharing the right? Okay. So if you can see my screen, absolutely. If you can see my screen, say yes, Carew, I can see your screen. If you can see what I'm sharing, I have my chat on, so that's the only way that I can connect and know that my network is keeping me here and we're good. So if you can see my screen, say Carew, yes, I can see your slides, and then we'll proceed. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. Right. Okay. So yes, I have the screen open here as well, so that I'm just trying to have it opened everywhere in case the network chooses to. Right. Right. So yes, who is Patience Carew? A quick introduction, and then we'll proceed. So my name is Patience Carew, as you all know. I'm a certified money mindset coach, founder of Enlightened Money Coaching. I'm a US certified money coach, and what I do with money coaching is help shine a light on, patterns, behaviors, financial habits, and all of those things that are standing between you and the financial future that you deserve and you desire. And my biggest mission is to help as many women, small businesses, professionals take control of their finances, because I believe that every one of us deserve to live a fulfilling and a prosperous life. We deserve to take control of our finances. We deserve to have that clarity, that control, and move very confidently towards the financial future, the financial goals that we want to do and we want to achieve, right? And I do this using money coaching methodologies, right? Money coaching is a new field. It's a new paradigm. Allow me to talk very quickly on what money coaching does. It's that bridge between financial services, neuroeconomics, neuroscience, and psychology. So it blends in everything around your mindset and then bring it to your practicalities around finance. So while you have the financial advisors telling you where to invest, how to budget, you have the money coaches telling you the mindset, the behaviors, the why behind the actions that you take around your money. So essentially, I work with people through their unconscious patterns, beliefs, and behaviors using a step-by-step process, okay? And what this does is it helps create that sort of new level of awareness. And it's until you become aware, until you know, right, change cannot occur. I always say that the first step is becoming aware. If you cannot identify a problem, a challenge, a situation, you cannot name it. If you cannot name it, you cannot change it. And so that is a step-by-step process with which we're able to create change for everyone, okay? And over the next, 90 minutes or less, we will be exploring principles across different paradigms on how we can transform our financial realities and obviously make changes, for 2025. And we're going to do this looking at the past year. I want you to take advantage of this and I want you to listen very carefully. We're going to do this reflecting on the past year, come back and look at our current financial situation, do a self-evaluation, and then craft a way forward. And this is how today's session is going to go. Start from the past year, look at our current realities, do some self-evaluation where we identify areas that needs improvement, and then move on to create a way forward for us. Okay, so much so that at the end of this webinar, you yourself will have a clear understanding of how to take control this 2025, how to find some flexibility around your financial situation, okay, how to become empowered. Because when you're aware, then you can start to make constructive changes, right? You can start to make significant changes, start to take significant actions that will move you towards the changes that you deserve, right? But you need to become aware. So I encourage you to please get your writing, answering questions that will cause you to reflect, questions that will cause you to question some things, or start to ask yourself, how did I earn? What were the things stopping me? What are the possibilities? What are those are things? And I also encourage you to ask questions, share your thoughts, experiences, engage material. I hope you all can hear me. I see my network saying something. I hope you guys can. You can put in the chat for me. Yes, and then we move. One yes, and then we move. I need one yes, and then we move. On now, last year, everything, let's take a look back at 2024, the things that happened in 2024. And I know that you would say, why is Patience taking us back to 2024 on the 30th of January? For me, when you wake up is your morning, right? So reflecting on the past year is an essential step towards understanding what worked, what didn't work, what you need to do more of, what you need to do less of, or what you need to continue doing for 2025. It's a chance for you and I to start to evaluate our successes, our setbacks, and use the lessons, the information that it gives us to move towards better changes or to take better changes, right? Now, what happened in 2024? Let's look at macroeconomic factors. Inflation rate for the year closed at 34.8, right? Former US president got elected, right? We saw that last year. We saw the handover this year. Nigerian government, they made us go back to the old national anthem, right? A lot of things happened. Our national grid, for the most part of last year, I don't remember seeing power, seeing electricity in the house, right? So many things. I want you to start to think. Some things happened. There was this nationwide strike that was, I don't know if it was successful. Minimum wage got increased. Stay with me, guys. We're getting somewhere. A lot of things happened. The refinery started working. You can put in the chat for me to keep me going, right? A bit shaky. Oh, thank you. I'm sending light to the network. I'm sending so much love to my network today so that it will allow me deliver what I want to give you guys. Okay. Now, all these things happened in 2024, and really and truly all of us experienced these things that happened, but these are macro things that happen outside of ourselves, right? These are externalities that are not within our control, and so even though they were happening in the economy, how did we react to those things, and how did those things impact us? Right? Now, I want us to shift our focus down to our own personal lives. We need to now come back to our own personal economy, because we spend so much time discussing the state of the nation, state of the global economy, discussing our businesses. We don't spend the required time, or we don't spend, reasonable amount of time to consider the impact on our own financial well-being. So it's time for us to shift focus. And in this webinar, for the next hour, 60 minutes or so, I want us to shift our focus. So someone put in the chat for me, shall we shift focus now? That's what I want to see. I want to see in the chat, shall we shift focus now? Right? And the reason I'm asking this is because I want you to start to see yourself as the CFO of your life. Shift focus. Thank you, Ikoku. Shift focus now. You have to start to see yourself as the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer of your life. Reason being, your personal economy is the spine, is the backbone of your own financial health. Your personal economy encompasses everything that makes up your life, not just your finances, not your debit, credit, your bank balance, but your career life, the choices you make around your professional life, right? And your professional life could be your employment, your businesses, whatever it is that creates income for you. Is important, right? And your relationship. So it's not just about money, it's about how you manage everything, from your time to your knowledge to your health to your finance. And the fact is, even if we try to say, okay, we only Patience, we only want you to talk about our financial lives, money is in every area of our lives. I say this every time. You want to impact the world, you need money. You want to expand your religious activities or spirituality, you need money. You want to create love and harmony around you. You need money to facilitate all of these things. So your spending decisions you make around businesses and everything influences the quality of life that you live aside your finances. Okay, so very important that you start to recognize that you have a personal economy, and that economy is different. My personal economy is different from yours, and it is shaped by the psychology that we all have around money, the mindset that we've been given, that's been handed over to us. And all of us, and I want us to know this, all of us are bundles of programming that has been passed down to us, programming that are being held on our behalf, programming that has been installed inside of us consciously and unconsciously. Consciously are the ones that we have even taken and we don't even know it. Unconsciously are the ones that have been passed down to us from our DNA, from our parents, from our society and how we were raised. Right? So it's very important that you recognize that as much as this person is living this way, that person is living that way, everyone has a different psychology, a different mindset to money. And what I want you to be thinking right now as I speak is for you to start to ponder on this question: how do I improve and sustain or maintain my own personal economy? I want someone to, so the questions I ask, if anyone is kind enough to put in the chat to get other people to see it in case they don't catch it. How do I improve and sustain or maintain my own personal economy? Okay, this is where your mindset comes in. Now, just before we move along, I want to ask everyone to do this. There's how many of us here? I want us to please, if Michelle can help me arrange this, I want us to put ourselves in groups. So I'm going to talk across 3 segments. So I want to have group A minimum of 2 people. Just volunteer yourself silently in the chat. Group A, group B, group C. I want you to put yourselves in groups. So much so that as I finish teaching and I call on group A would be willing to share. And I call on group B when I speak on segment B. Group B would speak. And then I talk on segment C, group C would speak. So who is volunteering? I want to see in the chat. Thank you. How do I improve and sustain and maintain my personal economy? Very quickly, I need to see 2 people, names of 2 people in group A, and then group B. Who is volunteering? Ikoku says group A. Okay, Michelle, take that down. Who is volunteering for group B? Who is volunteering for group B? Absolutely. Tosan says group B. And group C? Who is volunteering for group C? Okay, so I'm going to be teaching on group A right now, and then we'll reflect on the questions. The reason I want us to do it this way is we don't know it, but we learn from other people's experiences. We glean from other people's experiences. And so when people share during engagements, something comes to us. Some of us get our rema, our aha moments. Transformation occurs just by listening to other people share their own real life experiences. So I want this workshop to be such that when you leave, you leave with something good, some transformation, some awareness, some consciousness, some light as to how to do something differently so that you can achieve some level of change, positive change. Okay. Who is volunteering for group C? Group C, very quickly. I'm looking at the chat. I have the chat right here on my other screen. Who is volunteering for group C? Group C, nobody? Sarah says yes. Sarah, group C, absolutely, and we're good to go. So group A, Ikoko, you and your team, whoever they are, let's listen on. So yes, I was talking on your personal economy, right? And what I want you to know here is it's all about the mindset, right? So thinking about how to improve, how to sustain something begins with your mindset. Now, before we talk about the mindset, first of all, we all need to know that we're all stewards of the things that God has blessed us with in this life. So everything we have, everything that we're using, everything, we are meant to use them in a way that uplifts, in a way that glorifies, in a way that, and so even our finances, I'm getting somewhere. I want you to listen very carefully. I know many of you, are good at looking for ways to earn more money, to save. I know that there are a lot of you here that are also good with your figures, your calculation, your bank balances, your budget. But I want you to know that beyond all of that, it is 20% of everything you know that is governing your financial decisions. The rest of them is rooted in your feelings, is rooted in your behaviors. And research has proven it time and time again that a lot of the decisions that we make with our finances is 80% our emotions. And that's what the psychology of money makes us understand. Okay. And once you know this, because if you don't, that lack of understanding that your behaviors, your feelings, your emotions is the reason why many people live in perpetual cycle of fear, cycle of lack. And then there are also people that have worked on their mindset, their awareness, and that same psychology, they've used it to set goals and achieve goals confidently, effectively, with enthusiasm. So you see some people that are doing things and they are running at a pace that you are trying to play catch up. They've worked on their own psychology, they've worked on their own mindset. So I would use psychology and mindset interchangeably, okay? Because your mindset, your psychology is also your mindset, right? Now, what are the things that your psychology impacts around your finances? It reflects your attitude, the beliefs that you have. Your attitude is the way that you act around money. The beliefs that you have is the stories that you've heard, how you hold on to money, the values that you have, what you uphold, what you prioritize, okay? How you see money, your sense of identity and sense of self-worth around money. These are all your mindset. These are all your psychology. Right? Some people have inherited beliefs. Some people have inherited patterns from their culture. I say to a lot of people that my friends from the East are the most industrious, and they're the ones with very good entrepreneurship skills, right? But then there's still people, that's not to say people from the West don't have good entrepreneurial skills, though, but I'm just saying that these are cultural patterns that have been handed over. Their apprenticeship is the best around. They are cultural things that have been handed over from generation to generation, from decades to decades. And so you find that these things, you don't know it, but they influence the way that you relate with money. A lot of people use money today as some source of mental challenge, emotional stress, and all, whatever it is. Your psychology around money is what influences why you need money. The mindset that you have around money is what influences how you make money, how you share money, the way that you spend, and the way that you save. Okay, I want you to start to think, right? The emotions that drive the need for you to save. What sort of emotions drive? Is it one driven? I'm going to let him in. Yeah. The emotions that drive your need to save. Is it one of fear, one of trying to feel secure, or one of trying to catch up? Why are you saving? What emotions guides your giving? Is it one of manipulation, or is it one of generosity? And let me explain. Are you giving from a more generous state, from a place of sufficiency, or are you giving from a place of obligation and guilt and manipulation? All these things, you don't realize it, but it's not just your bank account that is influencing the way that you're giving or the way that you're spending. I want you to recognize, I want you to start to pay attention to the passion, to the motivation, to the fear, to the anxiety, to the ambition, to the drive, to the things that trigger you when it comes to your finances. So very quickly, I want us to now come back to the questions that I want to ask, and this is group A, okay? But before we do that, you understanding, why and how you are with money is what I teach every time. And I teach and coach this every time I speak. I cannot not talk about money archetypes. Absolutely not. Because that's how you learn what influences the daily decisions. That's how you learn where your financial destiny is going to, right? Ever since I got coached, I got mentored, I got trained and certified, I have never ever spoken without, I cannot even coach you without talking about your archetypes. And if you want to know more, I have a lot of free resources that you can access. You can listen to me on Clubhouse, go and get the resources past recordings I have done for free on Clubhouse, and listen to where I teach on your money personalities or where I teach on your money archetypes, because that will help you start to understand the patterns, the behaviors, the financial habits that are influencing your financial destiny. And if you'd like to know more, you can DM, or I see that my team is here with me. They can put up the links for any one of you that have just met me for the first time, and you can access those, or you can access it on my website, read more about it, and start to see that there's more to your relationship with money. Okay, so right on, let's go. Team A, Group A. So we start. What were your financial goals for 2024? I want you to start to listen to these questions. and start. This is not only me talking. This is a workshop where we're going to do some reflections. Okay. And then when we do this, we meet again at the end of the year and then see the changes that has occurred from January all through to the end of the year. Okay. And I think that would be a good thing to do. So, right. What were your financial goals? Many people are reluctant to answer questions like this. Many people are reluctant to, take that sort of investigation or deep dive into their finances. And I understand, because sometimes we're afraid of what we might find. We're afraid that it will reveal some things that we don't want. We're afraid that we may not be proud of ourselves. Yeah, and that's okay. But the reality is, once you discover where you are, you become empowered, and that's it. And as a business leader, I always say that you can't control what you cannot measure. So yes, let us look into it. So the first question is, what were your financial goals for 2024? I'm going to slow down and then give you guys time to think about it. It doesn't have to be financial. It could be it was to relocate. Your goals can be as simple as trying to relocate, not simple. It can be as serious as trying to relocate to another country or another state. People relocate to other states. I've had friends that had to relocate to Abuja. So let's not remove state from the equation, right? It could be that, you were trying to save for retirement, or your goal was to make money without experiencing that stress, that burnout. And for some of you, it could be that your goal was to make 1 million, 10 million, 200 million, 1 billion, 500 million, 250 million, whatever it is. What were your financial goals? Was it for you to find out what was stopping you? What were your financial goals for 2024? And then the next one is, did you achieve them? Why or why not? What challenges did you face and how did you overcome them? What challenges did you face? I will explain some of these questions to trigger you to start to think. A lot of things happened in 2024. The rising cost of things, everything going up, even for business managers, business owners, it became increasingly difficult to meet up with operational expenses. So yes, the situation of the economy for 2024 was not unique to just you, right? So what were the challenges that you faced for 2024? Did you experience some sort of unplanned expenses, medical expenses? They say you are one sickness away from poverty. Was there some sort of family pressure, financial pressure, and all of that? What was it? Or was it just your health? And then I want you to start to think, as you think about the goals and you think about whether you were able to achieve them. I want you to start to ask yourself again, what financial success did I experience? Okay, so as much as we acknowledge the setbacks, we acknowledge the challenges, we also need to recognize the wins, the successes, right? And what did you learn from them? For some of you, it may be that you improved on your savings. It may be that you improved on your savings. It may be that you were able to manage your debts, if you had debts, or maybe you were able to pay down on your mortgage, or you started budgeting. Or interestingly, maybe you were able to create other sources of income. You're able to utilize your time effectively to be able to generate, multiple or another source of income, side gig or something. What is it? Let's acknowledge it, right? Let's acknowledge it, right? And then the setbacks. We've talked about the challenges, we've talked about the successes. Now, what did you learn from the setbacks that you may have experienced? Some of you may have fallen into wrong investments scheme, wrong investment products, made wrong choices around. I met someone the other day and I was listening and I was hearing that, oh, I made some wrong decisions. Some of you may have made wrong decisions around decisions that ultimately go back and impact your money, your bank balance. Or did you lose your job? Or because of the economy and the complexities of 2024, did it impact your finances, your projections? Okay. So I want Group A, who is willing to share from Group A. Group A, I think Ikoku volunteered for Group A. So if you want, you can unmute yourself and tell us the lessons that you got from 2024.
Okay, good evening, Ma, and good evening, everybody.
Good
Thank you
evening.
for this opportunity. And I also want to speak to Chi for always being a nugget to my life to have a good financial status. However, 2024 was a kind of calamity, but thank God for grace and future. Because once there is hope, there is always a future. Okay, what happened in 2024 was that I had there's a mortgage that we are on, and we are hoping to do much more on it on 2024. Even at that, we are hoping some businesses here and there is going to come in. But as they say, man plans and God does his own. None of them came in. No business came in, and the worst part of it, we had two losses. We lost my dad and we lost my mother-in-law. No emergency fund. My husband left his other job with other promises that business will come and job. So it was really, really more than taking me 5 years backwards on my plans. But thank God we are in a year where we can kickstart again, one day at a time. There was no increment in the salary, but the inflation hit high. The children are growing, school fees are increasing every day. So a lot happened. What did I learn? I learned that it's never too late to start afresh. Never too late to start afresh. And that's why I'm here today. And you can also start small, because one or two, knowledge, they say, is power. Knowledge is power. Once you have the knowledge, you have the power. And that's why I'm here today, so that I will have the boost, I will have the encouragement, I will learn. And I hope that this year I will make some changes that will be better next year. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much, Coco. And I must extend my condolences to you and your family for last year for the losses. So yes, I'm sorry about this. And yes, sending you all peace, love, and healing to your family. Thank you so much for sharing. And this is the power of engagement, right? She didn't just share her experiences. She shared how she was able to bounce back, what she's trying to do. She said, never too late to start afresh, start small, and knowledge is power. And that's very profound. But just before you go, Ikoko, don't say I'm dragging you. I wanted to ask you, you said something, the situation took you 5 years backward, right? And I want you to unmute if you can to tell us, did you notice anything, any pattern? Did you notice anything that seems like it has happened before, or have you been in this sort of situation in the past? Did you notice anything about all of this?
Okay, yes, I noticed my saving culture. I didn't save much, but I spent more than I was willing to. I was willing to go out of my space to help. What would I call? People that are entitled. I was giving excuses for them, carrying their load, and leaving my own personal challenge for people that I know that the crisis they have, they actually built it on themselves, or they are building their life on my own. They're talking about the immediate and extended family, living their life on my own little own, even though I've tried in the past to also kind of create a niche for them, show them, teach them what I learned and how I'm surviving. But I still carry them more than I carry my own personal load. And it's too much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. Have you at any point in time met me before? Have you listened to me teach on money personality, money archetypes?
No, ma, but I followed Chinwe, that speak to Chi a lot on her finance engagements in several other places that she has spoken.
Okay, thank you so much. I believe my team will send you a link to go and listen to where I teach on your money personalities and how this influences the way that you give. If you're giving from a place of intention, you're giving from a place of generosity, sufficiency, or you're giving from a place of lack, manipulation, and guilt, and how these sort of things or the way that you give influences or becomes detrimental to your financial future. Okay, I believe that my team will reach out to you and send you the link so you can go and listen to the recordings and every other thing that I have taught. You may be able to get some awareness. Okay, Thank you so much for sharing, Ikoko. Let's move on to the next session. I believe that her sharing is reflecting on everyone, and some people are going back and thinking through their own real life experiences with 2024. So yes, Ikoko has opened the room. Group 2, get ready. We're moving on to understanding your current financial situation. I want to take recognition of time, and that's why I'm not dwelling too much on what Ikoko has said. I'm sorry, her name is Ogechuku actually, so I think Ikoko is her last name. Ogechuku, thank you so much. And just very quickly, let me recognize Chinwe in the room. Thank you so much, Chinwe. I appreciate you for coming. Chinwe was my former boss where I used to work, and she's brought her team to join us. For those that didn't join, they'll catch the replay. So you can let them know if they're registered, they should get the replay in their email, or Ogechuku will forward it to them. So thank you so much, Chinwe. I wanted to put that out there. Thank you so much. So yes, understanding your money reality, understanding your current financial situation. So this is for group 2, okay? Now, we just talked about our 2024, how it was. Now we want to come back and look at our current situation. We want to explore areas where we can improve. We heard Ogechuku Ikoko talk about, the challenges that she experienced around her own personal life and her personal economy, and the choices that she's made. And she recognized that the pattern that she's noticed is her savings culture. Okay, so we want to now start by asking ourselves, right, assessing our income. We want to identify our income source. Now, this is not to shame or to pull out anybody, but it's the reason we need to know our income stream, or the reason we need to bring it to light, is because of what it does for us. It gives us a clear picture of our financial stability. It helps us assess ourselves. So some people earn, and this is with all due respect and modesty, some people earn 12 times a year. Some people earn 4 times a year, which is quarterly. Some people earn twice a year. Some people earn 24 times a year. Some people earn, it doesn't matter. The point is, let us see where our income is coming from. Let us recognize it. Because when we do so, you then start to become aware and start to become conscious that you start to know whether you are dependent on a single income source, or whether your earnings, the way you earn, is able to contribute to the financial growth that you're seeking, or is your income able to cover your debts, so that you're not overtly exerting yourself financially, isn't it? So very, very important. Your income source, or how you earn, also helps with your confidence, right? I was saying to my sister just yesterday, credit alert is a self-esteem booster. It can cause happiness from nowhere. It doesn't matter who you are quarreling with or you're arguing with. Just put the alert there. It doesn't matter the amount. You will smile, isn't it? Who doesn't smile to alerts, right? So what are your income source? Very simple question. Very simple question. I remember many years ago, one of my coaches asked that question. By the time she was done, people were crying. Simple question: what are your income and what are your sources of income? And then you can imagine people now crying as to what their sources of. And for those of you here that are earning, and if you're not earning, it's okay. We're not here to guilt trip anybody. We're just here to recognize, to shine the light into our financial situation. Okay, that's what it is essentially. Shine the light, because when we see the light, then we can start to plug all the potholes. Okay. Now, your income can come from earned. You can be earning it. It can come passively. It can be from your investment or your portfolio income. Anyone, whether it is salary, whether it is donation, whether it is allowance, whether it is allowances, whether it is gifts, inheritance, whether it is government grants, whatever it is income. Whether it is the pension that you are receiving, because I know that the majority of us are across different demographics here, age range here. So it doesn't matter if it's pension, if it's rental. For those of you that are doing Airbnb, it doesn't matter. Income is income. Money coming in is money coming in. Okay, and I want you to now ask yourself, now that I know where my sources of income are, how much do I really earn from those income? And is it regular? Does it fluctuate? Group B, this is for you. Take notes. Does it fluctuate? Okay. And as you think about the answers to this question, start to ask yourself, what emotions arises when I think about my income? So every time I sit down at the end of the month or periodically when I'm looking at my bank statements and all of that, I'm trying to assess how much has come in. And if no money has come in, I know how I feel. So I want you to now name or label the emotions that arises when you think about your current income. I'm not going to tell you the emotion. I just want you to recognize them. Okay. And then group B, this is for you. Start to think about it because, hey, there's something inside of it. So now very quickly, let's move to our expenses. Right? Now, because I told you that, at the beginning, I told you I'm a money coach, a money mindset coach. So I'm focused on your financial psychology. I'm focused on the why behind the decisions that you make around your personal finance management. So when I ask you about your expenses, I'm not actually asking you about the figures. I'm asking you about the triggers for those expenses. And I'm going to be teaching very quickly on a critical concept that we teach in financial psychology called tracking. So people make a lot of expenses, not because people take on expenses, not because they cannot control it, but because we've been programmed to spend. Yes, culturally, biologically, financially, anyhow, we have been programmed to spend what we earn and even more. I want you to listen to it again and I will switch the English. You have been conditioned to spend every naira, every dollar that you earn. The first time I heard it, I was like, what are you saying? I'm an accountant now. I know how to save. But no, but it's true. That's the training that we've got. We've been influenced to spend. So what I'm trying to draw your attention to is that when you start to become connected with your finances, when you start to recognize your income and your expenses, you start to become more confident. You start to feel like you are in control. You start to learn practical ways to make intentional decisions, to plug the loopholes, to plug the holes in your wallet. Those things that are cancerous to your wallet, you start to plug them. That's what happens. Because everything that puts us in the place of being stuck is bad. We don't want to be stuck. We don't want to earn and not see what we're earning. And so that's why we need to pay attention to our expenses. And one of the easiest ways is through tracking. Now, tracking is very easy. I mean, it's very simple, sounds very simple. Everybody hears tracking, like, I track now, right? What is tracking? Very simple. Noting all the money that comes in and all the money that goes out. But are you tracking? That a lot of people say that they're tracking, and these are the reasons they say I check my ATM receipts, I log into my banking app. Some people say, oh, I'm not a numbers person, so yeah, I can't be bothered. It won't make any difference. I don't have time to track. I don't like the way, I don't like that feeling about, I don't like fussing about money. I don't like the way it makes me feel. No. I'm not a money. I'm not, money is the root of all evil. Be dealing with money. You hear those sorts of things. Those are skilled beliefs. Yes, we have to be, as the way that we become intentional for relationships that we value. The way we become intentional with our self-development is the same way that we become intentional with our finances. So how do you track? You write down everything, or you note down, or you use the app to recognize the things that you're spending through cash, through transfer, through debt, through check, whatever mode of payment or mode of transacting or exchanging money or value. That's what you need to pay attention to. And financial management, they will tell you that you need to record 3 things with your expenses. You need to record what you're spending for. So in accounts, they'll call it the details. I hope my internet is okay. Yeah. So in accounts, they will call it the details. Can you hear me? I want to see chat. I want to see in the chat, yes, Carew, I can hear you. One word and I will proceed. I want to see in the chat, yes, Carew, I can hear you. Can someone, if you can hear me, you can send an emoji or just say, yes, I can hear you. Oh, thank you. Absolutely. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Bukola. Thank you. Who's that? Ibukun. Oh, Ibukun. How are you? Thank you so much. Yes, P. Thank you, Ibukun. Yeah. So I was saying that for you to track your expenses on a granular level, the first thing to recognize is the amount you're spending, to whom you are paying that money, and for what it is for. I'm getting somewhere. It's not about, I'm not asking you to think about the money right now. I'm saying to you, when you start to look at your bank balances, your bank statement, your app, and open your app and all of that, start to recognize who you're spending that money for, what you're spending it for, and the amount. And then for the income, the source and the amount. Now, we've dealt with the income earlier. And why is this very, very important? Remember, I said that we think we track, we think we pay attention. And for those of you who do, fantastic. For those of you who don't, this is for you. It gives you important feedback about your money behaviors. Important feedback about that yogurt you are taking every day from that health store you are going to. The yogurt that is 8,000 naira that you take, or 6,500, or the salad that is 10,000 or 8,500 that you take 5 days or 4 days a week. It gives you insight as to it, because you start to ask yourself, do I really, really, really need this? Am I trying to satisfy craving for hunger? Or am I trying to live healthy? Or am I just looking for a way to feel important with myself or to feel good with myself? Once you start to recognize this is the first step to developing a healthy relationship with money, because you become mindful. You start to question everything. You start to recognize how much you have. In fact, let's not even go to how much you have, how you are using what you have, how you feel about using it. In terms, what I mean is how you feel about spending it. And then you start to think about the consequences of those decisions you make, the consequences, the spillover effect of buying that yogurt every week. Okay, that's what tracking does for you. You become aware of your spending and its impact. Remember that we are moving from the mindset. We're starting from the beginning. We're starting from your emotions. We're starting from the why behind the money habits, the financial habits and behaviors that you currently have. Because many people find that they do a lot of less unconscious and impulsive spending once they start tracking. All that bad habits of being impulsive, it reduces. What happens is when you start to track, right, you get an insight into what is missing in your life. A lot of the times, your problem is not that you're unable to manage your money. Your problem is the lack inside of you. Your problem is, it might even be other things like you not having enough love, having very low self-esteem, life dealing with you, showing you up and down, you not having social interactions with people. These things are the things that trigger impulsive spending. These things are the things that make us lose money, causes money drains in our lives. Yes, we think that we're spending money because sometimes we're trying to fill gaps in our lives. We're trying to fill inadequacies. We're trying to be relevant. We're trying to keep up with the Joneses. We're trying to follow people because people are investing in this product. We need to invest in that product. Because people are doing this, we need to do that. And tracking brings all of that to light. Tracking your expenses gives you control. It gives you time. You start, once you start to measure what you're doing, right, you start to feel more confident, like you are taking control of your life. Don't you get it? Once things are working in a way, even if it's very little, minimal change, right, small change, as long as it's significant, you start to feel like you're in control. It happens to everyone. Once you start tracking communication in your relationships, for those of you in relationships and marriages, communication in those relationships helps you. You're honest. Your partner can see where money is going. Your self-esteem comes up. For those of you that give spiritually, give for spiritual reasons, it also helps you. So you are now giving from a place of contentedness. You're giving from a place of intention, not giving because somebody said you should give, or because heaven, you won't make heaven because you didn't give. And the numbers tell the whole story, but tracking also helps. Okay, I wanted to speak from the area of tracking so that you start to see that, okay, it's not just because you're unable to plug in your expenses. Something beyond that underlying inside of you might be affecting your ability to live within your income and manage your expenses, right? And one of the problems that we usually have with tracking is we rely on our memory. We think that we can remember all our expenses. That's not true. We cannot. We cannot remember everything. And even if we do, our feelings will not allow us to acknowledge. How can your feelings allow you acknowledge that ice cream that you bought? It's not possible now. The ice cream is a feel good. That one helps to increase your dose of dopamine. So why would you want to acknowledge it? Why would you, when the ice cream makes you feel good? Imagine, or the drinking, or the chilling out with the girls or the boys or something. So yes, very, very key. I wanted to put that out there. So for your expenses, right? And this is group B, start gearing up to speak. What are your fixed expenses, right? What are your fixed expenses? I know that some of you already understand what fixed expenses are. If you look at the hierarchy of human needs, our psychological needs are clothing, shelter, feeding. So those are very important expenses that you must incur. At least you must have somewhere to live. You must enter transport. You must do certain things, right? You must wear clothes to go to work and show up, right? Then you then have your discretionary expenses. That's what they call the variable expenses. Now, that one is based on your feeling, is based on, it's not do or die, right? That's the one that is your data, your cinema, you're chilling with the big boys, you're traveling, your hobbies, the things that make you feel good. Of course, you have to allocate funds to those things, but then you need to ask yourself this question: are there areas I need to cut down? You need to ask yourself that. Are there areas that I need to cut down on? And I want you to take this question down. Someone can help me put this question in the chat. How do you think that your financial life would change if you started tracking your money? How do you think that it would change? Okay, we've talked about our emotions. Okay, now group B, let me quickly wrap up this segment. Now, the next one is your debts and your savings. How many of you have read Morgan Housel's Psychology of Money? The Psychology of Money. I think I have the book here. Yeah, this one. How many of you have read this book? The Psychology of Money. How many of you have read it? If you've read it, put in the chat, yes, I have read it. Now, one of the things that you may or may not have noticed was the fact that he emphasized the concept saving, save. He mentioned it thrice, save, save, save. Oh, Loretta says, I just started reading it. Absolutely. The book talks on your behaviors towards investing, your mindset and all of that. So yes, very good read. Right now, I want to point out because I actually looked out for it to see what he said, and that's why I was pointing it out to you guys. I would also, if you remind me, I'll tell you another book to read for 2025 if you're just starting out taking control of your finances. Very popular books that can help us, empower us, right? And like Ogechukwu says, she says knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, but if you don't take prerequisite action, then the knowledge is neutral. Okay, right? So yes, so he said what did he say? He said save, save, save. He said saving money is the gap between your ego and your income. That's what Morgan said in his book. Saving money is the gap between your ego and your income. He says that wealth is what you don't see. You don't see wealth. And I'm about to share something very profound that he said. He said, no matter how much you earn, and please, I want us to listen to this. I will say it twice though. No matter how much you earn, you will never build wealth unless you put a lid on how much fun you can have with your money right now. Profound. It was profound for me. And let me say it again. No matter how much you earn, you will never build wealth unless you put a lid on how much fun you can have with your money right now. And when I teach, I always say that your financial independence is in the middle of your expenses and your income. That's what I teach. So if you're looking for where to start to save money for your investment, it's in the middle of your income and your expenses. So you've got to suppress what you can buy today in order to have more options, in order to create options, in order to create liberty, freedom in your future. And that's where thinking about your debts and thinking about savings come in. I say that debt is good, but what are you collecting credit for? Is it something you can pay back? Is it for business? If it's not creating assets or expanding, then you have to think through and become intentional. So I want you to look at this question again. What types of debts do you have? Is it mortgage? What type of debts do you have? Credit card loans or just normal personal loans, car loans? Just think about it, right? What sort of debts do you have? And then the interest rates and the repayments for those debts. Now, do you also have emergency funds and savings in place for them? These are questions that you've got to think about, you've got to ask yourself and recognize, okay? Because that's until you recognize your income, your expenses, your debts and savings, you're not going to be able to prioritize, you're not going to be able to categorize your investments. And so when you set goals, you will not be motivated to achieve those goals. You'll not be able to see the behaviors that are holding you back so that you can change them, okay? And then as we start to think about the debts, I want us to, at the back of our mind, start to ask ourselves, what are our short-term and long-term financial goals? Actually, let me ask that question now ahead. What are your short-term and long-term financial goals? If you haven't thought about it, or for some reasons you experience block when you're trying to think about your goals, your short-term, because some people it happens, right? You can't think beyond 6 months or 3 months, okay? Now, it's okay. It's okay. Your short-term goals are from 3 months, from 1 month, quarterly, annually, up to 2 years. If you can't think of 1 year, think of 6 months. If you can't think of 6 months, think of 90 days, right? And what is it? Is it trying to pay off the debt? Is it trying to create other sources of income? Is it trying to study or learn a new skill? Is it trying to say, okay, I need to work up my emergency funds, or I need to start saving for something? What is the short-term goal that you have? I want you to think about it properly. And then for the long-term goals, those are goals that you have that stretches from 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, up until forever, right? Those are long-term goals. Now, those goals can be, okay, trying to think about your children's college fund, mortgage, or getting a home or a house, or maybe just even creating investments for your retirement age, right? Or trying to save for your old age. You don't want to be dependent on somebody else, so you want to start being intentional, right? Now you want to think about that. And whilst you're thinking about that, I want you to ask yourself, now that I'm trying to think about my short-term and my long-term goals, what is my financial priority right now? Or what are your financial priorities? Do you have priorities? Some people do. You remember I said that as you set the goals, you have to categorize them. Okay? What are your priorities? It could be anything. It's unique to you. All of us have different mindsets around money. So yes, group B, do you want to come up and speak and share what stood out for you? Group B, over to you. Oh, yes. Michael says, I would like to state that I think some variable expenses becomes a fixed expense. There are a lot of people who get data, who getting data comes first to getting. Absolutely. If that's where your business is skewed to, and then that's fine. I don't think that there's one best solution for financial advisory. Everyone's solution is unique to them. So you're absolutely correct, Michael. I mean, data is very critical. If I don't have data, if you don't have data, we wouldn't be here. Yes, actually. Thanks for bringing that up. B, who is for group B?
Okay.
Who is for group B? Let me check.
Tosan speaking for group B.
Right, thank you.
Okay, so understanding your current financial realities. Yes, income sources and how do you earn? I earn in different ways. Business, salary, gifts, different ways. Now, the frequency is also, different. Business might come in like twice or twice a year. Salary is every month. Yeah, gifts. They are as the spirit leads on the giver. All right. So you asked what are our emotions when when we receive a lot, or okay, at our current income. Well, when there is when it is booming, or when the alerts are positive, their money is coming in, not going out. Of course, we are happy, we feel safe, we feel sure that the future is secure. But when they are going out, and they are going out very quickly, it's a different story entirely. Or when like business during the long haul, where the transactions are not as much, it can be dampening. Yeah, expenses. I do not track my expenses. I'm sorry, I can't help you there, but I know my fixed expenses. Those are the ones that you don't need any soothsayer. They will meet you before you meet them. So I just focus on sorting out my fixed expenses, and then I take a chunk out as savings, and then we use the rest. Okay, so we move on to our financial. Okay, how do you think that your financial life will change if you start tracking? Well, if I start tracking, I I'm one of those people that feel that budgeting can be too stringent, right? I feel like I'd rather focus on my savings goal than if the money finishes after I've saved, we are fine. So if I feel like if my financial life would, be a little too tight, too strict. If I start tracking, I won't be able to take as much yogurt, ice cream, pizzas as I would like, right? Because it will be too in my face. And we need those things, like you say, for emotional wellness and all that. So onto debt and savings. Yes, this is your quotes from Morgan Housel. They are breaking and shaking the tables. You know, saving money is the gap between your ego and your income. How much fun? And I do want to have fun, which is why tracking is like not a priority for me. But I can also see that the money that I need for my investments are somewhere in between all of that. So maybe in the new year we would consider that. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing, Tosan. The money that I need for my investments is somewhere in between. Fantastic. See, if you guys are not listening to reflections from other people, take this very seriously. We glean from other people's experiences and when they share. Very profound. Thank you so much, Tosan. Two things I want to talk on just very quickly. You talked about budgeting, feeling reluctant to budget and all of that. For those of you who have not attended my previous webinar on budgeting, I do have some a webinar where I taught on budgeting. If you'd like the recording, drop your email and my assistant will pick it up and then she would send it to me later. I can send you past recordings that I have had on budgeting so that you can see, the mindset around your budgeting. Okay. Like I said, there are tons of resources that I have to share for you to help make better money decisions. Very quickly, Tosan, thank you so much. Do you mind if I ask just one last question? And that would be, and this is because of the rest of the team listening, right? What would you need to believe about yourself and your abilities to confidently manage your finances, in a holistic way? What do you need to believe about yourself and your finances? You mentioned that your discretional funds, your discretional expenses, you don't really joke with it because it helps with your feel good hormones and all of that. But I just wanted to ask, for those that might be listening, what do you need to believe about yourself? What would you need to believe about yourself and your abilities to confidently manage your finances? Do you want to share for a minute? Tosan, did you hear the question?
Yes, I did. So I would like to believe that I've got Midas touch, right? Everything I touch turns to gold, and gold right now would cost a lot. So abundance, basically. So if I feel like, every business I'm doing, money is just coming in, flowing, we're good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I hope that those of you that are listening, you start to think about the beliefs and the mindset that might be holding you back from moving towards the sort of financial future that you deserve. These are things that I teach about. I talked about very quickly before I moved to group C, segment C. I know that I talked about financial goals, but I didn't quite touch on it. But I wanted to let you know that for you to be able to start to think about your goals, you need to list them. You need to categorize them by urgency. People go for a lot of vision boards, go for a lot of life, life design and all those things where they tell you about how to set goals and all of that. But on a granular level, you've got to recognize everything that you want, set them as goals, and categorize them into long-term, short-term, urgency. See if they align with what you want for your life, for yourself, and not just your finances, your relationship, your spirituality. And then start to see the resources that you need to allocate to the effective achievement of those goals, right? I know that they've taught you about SMART goals, how goals must be specific, but I want you to know that for every goal that you set, you must state it in the positive and you must state it in the present. Okay. Remember, I said that you must know the goals. You must focus on what you want. You must be very clear as to what you want and focus on that thing, and then set the goals for it and create the plan. So it's not enough to set the goals without creating the plan. The plan then becomes this set of actions that you need to take. When you set the goals, then you need to take actions. If you set goals from today till tomorrow, write the goals down. If you don't take prerequisite actions, if you don't take small daily right actions, the accomplishment of those goals will be very far from you. You'll just be wasting your time. And at the beginning of this webinar, I said you've got to be the CFO of your life. So it means that you've got to put yourself in the driver's seat of your life so that you can start to take actions that moves you towards the goals that you desire. Now, for me, if I set a goal, right, I have to come back and break down that goal. So if I set a goal for the year, I have to break down the goal to half year, break down the goal to quarterly, break down the goal to monthly, and then break it down to weekly. So for instance, you set a goal that you want to spend more time with your family. That is ambitious. You've got to come back and ask yourself and break it down. Right? How do you want to spend time with your family? What areas do you want to spend time? Do you need to now break it down to daily right actions like spending an hour every day? Or does it mean doing prayers? You just have to break it down to small but significant things that you can do. And that's how you find that people are on an incremental level are able to achieve goals. But when you set it very ambitious, it looks daunting. It looks unachievable, far-reaching. But when you set that goal, you set the vision straight, you come back and then now take daily right actions that moves you towards the achievement of that goal. I wanted to put that out there. And remember that for every goal that you set, it must be worthwhile. It must be ecological. It must be a goal that is good for you and good for others. Okay? So it's not a goal that will stress you and put so much pressure on the people that are important to you. Very quickly, I wanted to put that out there. Now, so the next one is your money reality. I have my slides here. Self-evaluation, identifying areas for improvement. Thank you so much, Group A and Group B, for your contributions. Profound. It's made the workshop very, very, interactive. So yeah, so let's look at identifying areas for improvement. So the first question is, what are your financial strengths? What are your financial strengths? I want you to start to think about that. Self-evaluation is very critical. You've got to take time to reflect on your strengths, your weaknesses. We've looked at our current realities. We've looked at, what has happened and our income, our expenses. Now we want to assess our strengths. We want to look at our weaknesses. What are your financial strengths? What are your financial weaknesses? How do your strengths and weaknesses impact your overall financial well-being? Okay, your strengths could be skills. It could be your habits. It could be the new thing that you've learned. Some people have developed their strength through savings. Some people have learned budgeting. Whatever it is, whatever it is, you have strengths that you need to recognize. If you don't recognize it, if you don't acknowledge it, how do you then now move forward? You need that motivation to move. Is it that you, for 2024, you were able to live within your means? You became very thoughtful around your spending decisions? What are the strengths that you have? Were you able to, for some people, they were able to take on investments that, generated good returns for them. That's a strength. Some people were able to give, to donate to causes that, whatever it is, I want you to recognize the strengths that you had or you have. And then for your weaknesses, what were the weaknesses that you have or you had for 2024, and then what the current weaknesses that you experience? Is it procrastination? Is it being unable to check your finances? Delaying important decisions, not being able to decide how to save or whether to take on that business opportunity or that job opportunity? Is it the resistance to dust your CV and reapply again? Is it missing out on investment opportunities? Is it not wanting to learn new skills? What are your financial weaknesses? Or is it even buying things that are unplanned, taking on vacation because you just need to feel good? What are those things, right? And then how do your financial strength, I hope Group C is listening to this, how do your financial strengths and weaknesses impact your overall well-being? How does it impact it? And then what are your financial habits? At the beginning, the first lady who spoke, Ogechi, talked about some of the habits and patterns that she noticed with her around her financial life. So I want you to recognize your financial habits and patterns. These things have such a very huge, significant impact on your financial well-being that you may be downplaying it, but it's very critical. Okay? Do you avoid making financial decisions? Do you take proactive approach to your finances? What are those habits that are, is it overspending, underspending? Is it avoiding opportunities because there's something inside of you that is not on board with you earning your worth, coming out to speak your own your voice and speak out, or looking for opportunities? You doubt what you know. What are those things that are holding you back? I want to put it out here that if you're struggling to identify your strength, your weaknesses, your habits, if you want, I can walk you through a process very quickly in 5 minutes that will help you see what might be holding you back. Group C, who would like to share? Or would you like me to walk through, anybody that wants me to walk through a process? I have a pattern visualization process. It's a modality that helps you go back in time and see how you've been over the last few years very quickly. Otherwise, Group C can come up and share what has stood out for them. I want to see in the chat or somebody to share, or if anybody wants me to work with them on that. I'm looking at the chat. Please walk through. Please, a walk through. Okay, is that Mayowa? I would like you to walk through them. Oh, that's Sarah. So, Mayowa, would you like to unmute yourself? Because if I have to walk through, then I have to work through with you. Otherwise, who's going to volunteer?
Yeah, yes, I've unmuted myself. Sorry, I've got a bit of cough, so my voice is not so loud.
Absolutely.
Can
It's
you
okay,
hear me?
sending you healing.
Amen.
Loud and clear, we can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
I
you
would
so
like
much
to
for
walk
joining.
through,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, so I was asking, over the last hour, I taught on, the mindset around your finances. So I was asking what your strengths, your weaknesses, your habits are, and your patterns are. And for some reason, anyone that is unable to think back, then there might be a block somewhere, because it's usually a block or a trauma that prevents us from being able to think through things that may have happened. It's our own mind, our own biology trying to protect us, from whatever harm or thinking that might be next. So, Mayowa, I want you to sit back. I want you to sit back. Can you hear me loud and clear? Say yes if
you're
you can.
breaking a bit. You're breaking up a bit.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
can you hear
better.
me now?
Yes, it's
Okay.
better.
Okay, so I want you to sit back, relax, put your back towards the chair, feel your feet to the ground, and then just relax. I want you to take a deep breath in as you relax and breathe out. As you sit down, put your arms to your thighs on your laps, sit back and breathe in and breathe out. I want you to breathe in again, and this time around, I want you to take very slow breaths in. And as you breathe out, I want you to count to four with your breath as you're breathing out with your mouth opened. I want you to relax, really, really feel your feet to the ground, okay? And just keep breathing. Your video is off. You don't have to put it on. I wish I could see you, but that's okay. You can leave it off. Yeah. And then I want you to take that journey back with me. Okay, as you sit back, you can choose to leave your eyes opened or you can leave them shut. But I want you to take that journey back with me.
Okay.
This is 2025. I want you to remember January 1st, 2025. As you remember January 1st, 2025, I want you to smile at the things that were interesting about it. As you ponder, as you remember those things, I want you to go back 5 years to 2020. So I want you to take a look back to 5 years back before now and start to ask yourself, where was I? What were you doing at that time? Who were you talking to? What were your decisions around your finances? What were the things that were recurring? What were the themes that were recurring for you at that time? As you start to think about that, I want you to move back 5 years to 2015. As you go back to 2015, start to ask yourself again, where was I? What phase of my life was that? What was my finances around about? What patterns, what was recurring? What was the theme around that period of my life? As you recognize, as you notice, I want you to go back even further to 2010. Where were you at that time? How old were you? What were you doing? What was going on for you? What was your income like? What were the patterns that was worthy of note to you? And if you can, still breathing slowly, I want you to go back to 2005. And then ask yourself the same question. What was I doing at that time? Who was I with? What were the patterns that I had? What were the behaviors that was holding me back? How much was I earning? Was I happy? And as you take deep breaths in and you notice, give you a moment to start to come back. I start to notice what was recurring for you, the changes, the things, the behaviors, the patterns. And I want you to feel your feet to the ground again. Feel your palms touching your thighs. Feel your breath and come back to us and tell us what you noticed.
Yeah, so let me start from 2005. 2005, I was still in school then, almost rounding up school, to be precise. But that wasn't the year of my IT, and one thing I remember that year was during my IT, I worked and I saved money. That was where I actually learned saving. I saved up money then, so by the time after my IT, I had money to spend, but as a student now, before you knew it, I blew my money. Then going to 2010, I was getting ready, preparing for my wedding. And still applying the same principle that I applied in 2005. I was saving a portion of my salary then, and yeah, I was able to achieve what I wanted to achieve during my wedding. At least I had something I was planning towards, so I had goals, and I was able to meet the goals. 2015, I was out of work then, and that was when I was struggling with childbearing. That was the year I did IVF. I had a lot of money, let me put it that way, instead of saying no money. I had a lot of money that year. But one of the things you said, which I think I never really took cognizance of, was I always get money as gifts, but I never really looked at it as income. So thinking back now, oh yes, I've gotten loads of money as gifts. If I treated it like income, I think I'll be in a better place. 2020, I would say that was the year after shortly I just gave birth to my daughter then, and that was the year of COVID, and it was a bit similar to 2015. It was a tough year, a very tough year, but I would say miracles happened for me that year. That's all I can say. Miracles did happen. How we got things sorted out, I'm sorry I can't explain it, but things were just sorted out. So that's 20,000 this year. My career money must change. That is number number one on the list. No. It has to change. So yeah, so that's it for me.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Still hold on. So
Okay.
now what are you taking away from this exercise? What is the one thing you're taking away from this exercise? I mean, what is the one thing that you're looking to course correct?
Yeah, so one of the things that I have to go back to is the saving character. Despite the situation, I must ensure that I save something out of whatever comes to me, whether it's a gift, it's a salary. I used to do the 25% rule then, that 20 or 25% rule. That was what I was doing 2005 and 2010. But as life happened, and just as the lady that spoke earlier on, especially last year, the last couple of years, so to say, you find out that your income and what you're spending does not tally because of the cost of things. So, but whatever the case is, my take home from this is that I have to save something. So I must have a reasonable amount, percentage of whatever my income is, and I must save it and not touch it. That's another thing. Because a lot of times, oh, I would return it back. You never return it back. I used to do that. I will save it. I will return it back. And you just find out that you eventually never return it back. So that's one thing I'm taking away from that.
Awesome. Stay in this attitude. Awesome. Very profound what you've shared. And I hope that others are listening. Now, I want you to sit back and also look at your future as well. Okay, so let's look at the desired future that you want. So sit back, take a deep breath again, sit back, rest your back to to your chair, feel your feet to the ground, put your arms down and just relax. And I want you to think of your happy moments. Think of one of the times that you were the most happiest, right? You know, think of a scenario, a situation, or an environment, be it a vacation, your children, whatever makes you happy or whatever has brought you some sort of excitement, that heightened emotion of happiness, of love, of joy. I want you to sit back and see yourself in that. Some people may have or may not be able to see something like that, but you can curate it, right? You have to, so you can imagine those things. The intangible controls the tangible. So I want you to sit back and start to visualize, start to imagine that beautiful moment in your life. Okay. Find yourself sitting down in a garden or sitting down in a hotel with white sheets, soft bed, or just looking into the eyes of your children, whatever it is. Sit back and sit down, relax, and breathe. So breathe in, breathe out. Take 3 breaths in. I'm trying to speed up the process a little bit. So take 3 breaths in and 3 breaths out. And I want you to ask yourself, who do I see in 2035? Mayowa, I want you to start to ask yourself, visualize yourself in 2035. Now, that's 10 years from now. It's okay if, to those of you listening, you're not able to go as far back as 10 years, as go far into the future to 10 years. You can come to 2030. Okay, you can move back to 2030. If you're struggling, you can move back to 2025 or even 6 months from now. But what I want you to know is, who do you see? What do you see? Keep smiling, relax. How do you feel? I want you to see yourself. I want you to see yourself with the business that you desire, the investment accounts that you want to own, the bank accounts, the children in the schools that you probably dreamt of or never really dreamt of, everything else that you desire. I want you to visualize yourself. And for those of you listening, if you are able to do so, I want you to write down what you saw. Mayowa, you wanted to share?
Yeah, I wanted to say, can I do maybe the end of this year? 10 years, the picture has not formed well.
It's getting blurry, right? By all means.
Yes.
So yes. So yes, I said you can come back to 2020. Sometimes we're not, because of our realities, we're not able to see beyond them. So you can come back and move from there. So see 6 months from now, see December, or see next year. See what you need to see to give yourself the momentum to move. And then write what you saw.
I see myself as a senior test lead. So I'm a software tester in a very reputable international organization, preferably working remotely. That is what I desire, but I'm open, I'm flexible, it will be hybrid, earning very good money and enjoying, most importantly, learning a lot along the way in the projects that I'm doing, where I get to learn so much more that in line of testing and whatever career path I now decide to progress to from software testing. So, but that is the image, the picture that I have in mind.
Absolutely. And that's all you need. So write it down and then work your goals back from there, right? Start to work back. What are your financial values around the vision that you set for yourself? So what are the priorities? What do you need to pay attention to, right? For you to achieve what you see for yourself. Okay? So you start asking yourself questions around these things. The core values are things that matter to you. You see yourself in the tech space. Now, what are the values that you need to have to help you move towards those goals? Because if you're thriving in one area of your life and you are experiencing misalignment or disharmony in another area, it will come and affect where you're thriving, right? So you've got to start to ask yourself the values that make you whole, right? As you have envisioned the life, you have envisioned the future that you want, you might have to also do the same for other areas of your life. So it's not enough to envision your career life, your professional life. You've got to also envision the sort of life you want for your children, your relationship, your spirituality, your energy, every critical aspect or dimension of your life. You've got to pay attention to it. Okay, so now I want to help you craft what you've just said. I'm going to say something very vague, and then you're going to use your own words to make it your vision, right? The vision is the overarching or ultimate goal that you want, but coming back to bring it into actions is where you set goals from. So I want you to start to ask them, write it the way I'm saying it, or write it using your own words. My vision is to lead a balanced and fulfilling life. And now that is my own vision. So I want you to write your own vision in the positive. My vision is to lead using everything that we've talked about. I'm not able to expand because I'm conscious of the time. So I'm not able to expand as much as I would want. But I want you to pay attention to how I'm saying it so that you can craft yours, in that way. My vision is to lead a balanced and excuse me, a balanced and fulfilling life where I am in control of my finances, where I am continuously growing personally, professionally, nurturing loving relationships with my children, my friends, my husband, my community, where I'm able to contribute to the people I'm called to serve, where I'm able to prioritize my health and achieve financial independence and live a life of abundance and purpose. Okay, and I have a different vision for my coaching business, and that is to bring awareness, to move you towards better money decisions that help you live purposefully and prosperously. We have to create those ideals that will keep us focused. And I want you to take these questions down as we bring this to a quick close. I want you to take these questions down. The first thing is, and that's, I always ask people that come in contact with me, what does financial success mean to you? Once you can define, one second. Once you can define it, you are on your way to clarity, to control, and to confidence. Okay, what does financial success mean to me? Financial freedom mean to me? What kind of lifestyle do I want to create for myself and my loved ones? Those are questions that we ask ourselves all the time. Those are questions that keep, because questions are the answers. And then as you start to answer those questions, there are three most important questions that you need to keep asking yourself from now on till the end of the year. And that would be, what is the most important financial goal I want to achieve within the next 90 days? What is the most important financial goal I want to achieve within the next 90 days? And the next one is, what is the biggest financial challenge I'm facing right now? I hope you're writing as I'm speaking. What is the biggest financial challenge I'm facing right now, and how can I overcome it? And what is the one financial habit I can start or stop to improve my financial well-being? What is the one financial habit I can start or stop to improve my financial well-being? All of these questions, they come with awareness. They come with you being aware as to how you relate with money. Earlier on, I talked about how you spend, what triggers your spending decisions, your savings, your investments, and all of that. Okay? And it's not, like I said, it's not that you don't know how to access all of these things I have taught. The challenge is taking right actions. The challenge is doing what we say we will do. So we can learn from today till tomorrow, but if we don't take actions, nothing will happen. In the next couple of weeks, I will be teaching Know Your Money Archetype. If you've never attended, or if you have never taken the quiz before, I encourage you to take, and even if you have, I encourage you to take it every 6 months. Okay, I will start the marketing for the program in February. Okay, the program will be in about 5 or 6 weeks time. I will start intensive marketing for the program in February, but I wanted to state it here in case any of you would be willing or want to take advantage of early registrations and all of that. I've brought an early bird discount for you, for those of you that want to take advantage of the early bird. I don't know if Michelle can put the link in the chat. I will repeat the question. I will repeat the question. I see your message. Repeat the question. Right. So if you want to take advantage of the early bird, Michelle, please put the seller link in the chat. I haven't worked on the price. I haven't worked on the pages, the marketing links and all of that. I haven't done all of that. But I thought, what better way for you to connect or get into my ecosystem? Or how do I give back if I don't let you know about this? So the price is still the price from last year. So you have a chance to register now and take advantage, because the real price is going to change. It's going to change in February. It's also going to change when we're eventually holding it. So if you want to take advantage of early bird registration to know how your money personality impacts your financial destiny, the link is in the chat. The seller link is in the chat. It takes you right on there. But if you'd like to know essentially what the program is about, I will be sending more information in the next coming weeks about it. I just wanted to put that out there for those of you that might be interested. So the question is, what is the most important financial goal I want to achieve in the next 90 days? And what is the biggest financial challenge I am facing right now? And how can I overcome it? And what is the one financial habit I can start or stop to improve my financial well-being? Anybody wants to share? Anybody wants to share? How has this session been? How has this session been for us? Let me look in the chat. Anybody wants to share? Don't let me call your names. Anybody wants to share how this session has been? The questions. For more, I wish that we had more time to talk on values, talk on priorities. I help people discover their values as well. That's one of the things I do with private coaching. So that's a different ball game entirely. For you to understand the values that drive your life, there's a modality for that as well. Okay, so Mayowa, Esther, Faith, Gisela, Helen, Ibukun, Idowu, Ifoma, Immaculata, Loretta, Nyson, Ogechukwu, Olamide, Peju, Pele, Ramatu. Is it Auntie Ramatu? Oh, Sade is here. How has this session been for you? Do you have questions that you'd like to ask? Observations? How has the session been for you? And I want you to put in the chat for me, what stood out for you. Don't forget the 3 questions that I pointed out. I wish it could be in the chat. I said, what is the most important financial goal that you want to achieve within the next 90 days to help you stay focused? What is the biggest financial challenge you're facing right now, and how can you overcome it? And what is the one financial habit you can start to improve your financial well-being? Remember that your financial success is not just about money, right? It's about living intentionally, living prosperously, living, So I want to encourage you to take the right actions. It's financial success is not a journey. I'm sorry, it's a journey, it's not a destination. So what is financial success to me is different from what is financial success to you. So don't be afraid to make mistakes and recognize those mistakes. The goal is to utilize the learnings from all our mistakes. So anyone willing to share, anyone willing, as we bring this to a quick close, anyone willing to share? And you guys put in the chat for me how this session has been. Don't let me start sending emails asking for feedback. How has this session been for you? Giselle, how has it been for you? Gisela, how has it been for you? Olumayowa, how has this session been for you? Don't forget to take advantage of the early bird discount for my upcoming masterclass. The materials will be out later, but you can take advantage of the really early bird coming up. How has this session been for you? Let me stop sharing. How has this session been for you? Mayowa says a very enlightening one. Awesome session, enough to chew. Thank you for pouring yourself freely. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. How has it been for you? You guys share in the chat for me. Session has always been enlightening. Thank you, Michelle. I think someone dropped their email. Thanks for the motivation to do more. Oh, Ramatu shared the question, so you can copy the questions as well. Thank you for joining Mastering Your Money Mindset for a Prosperous 2025. I hope that you join us for the next series coming up in February. Like I said, I will be sharing more and more and more and more so that we all become empowered and enlightened. Okay, and I look forward to seeing you all in February. And I also look forward to seeing you all in the masterclass coming up much later. Don't forget to take advantage. Ramatu says, please check the questions. Oh, I see that Michelle is also putting, she's included the chat, our WhatsApp group in the chat, in case you want to join for more intimate connection with me. You can join the chat. Thank you so much, everyone. Keep the feedback coming. I hope that it's been engaging for you all. Yusufu says the session has been enlightening, inspiring, thought-provoking, and reawakening. Well done and keep it up. Thank you so much, Yusufu. Appreciate you. Don't forget to check the links that have been put in the chat. If you want to listen to my previous recordings on money archetypes, you can access my page on Clubhouse as Patience Carew. I think it's the Enlightened Money Mindset House, and then you can listen to previous recordings that I have talked on your money personalities and how it influences your financial destiny. Okay. Oh, information just reached me now that that is Mr. Ishaku himself. Thank you so much, sir, for joining. I appreciate you. That's one of my elders. Thank you so much, Mr. Ishaku. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Ah, look at you. Thank you, sir. How has this session been for you?
Great, great, great. I'm encouraged.
Thank you, sir. You should join our money archetype masterclass coming up in March. You should take advantage of the early bird discount and join us. You should know what your money personality is like and how it influences and shows up with your business decisions. Mr. Ishaku is an investment banker, and I'm honored to have you join my program today. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Pele, thank you so much. Session has been wonderful and revealing. I believe that's revealing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. This is the first of the series for 2025, Mastering Your Money Mindset for a Prosperous Year. I do hope to see you in subsequent sessions. Don't forget, you can access all my works on Clubhouse, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Send me DMs, let me know how I can, your question. In fact, if you send me questions, we may be able to curate it into a teaching topic and show up again in February. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Drop your emojis for me, Patience. You're doing amazing. Thank you so much, everyone.
Always amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I hope I kept to time.
Thanks, Coach P.
Thank you. So who just spoke? Thank you so much. Have I started seeing, I hope we're going on Seller and we're clicking the link for early bird though. Don't come and tell me, Patience, I need the discount. The discount is gonna last for just a few days. Chinwe says, amazing Pepe. That's what she used to call me. Thank you so much, Chinwe. Thank you so much. I will send the recording to you. and then you can forward it to your team as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Shade, I see you. Thank you so much, everyone. Olamide, can you stop the live streaming on YouTube? This session is also being broadcasted on YouTube. The link would also be in our emails. If you registered, you will receive my email in a few days or a couple of hours, sending the YouTube link. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Enlighten Money Mindsets. Is it what's called Enlighten Money Mindset on YouTube? Olamide, can you stop the streaming on the live streaming? Yes, so yes, this recording, this program would also be on YouTube. So you should